They're back. It is back. I started doing this while Ben was here and Ben left. And I started continuing to do this. I forgot to turn the stream back on. So, there we go. Back on. I'm combining the paints from both boxes. Ben's coming back, so the stream ain't gonna be a lot long. But so this one is the same as this one. Same color name. But I took the plastic insert out. And I took the metal insert out. And I'm putting everything in one box. Also, the ones in this blue box, they're not sorted in any order at all. And that's annoying me. So I'm sorting them. And I'm putting magnets on them. So we'll be able to paint better once we get everything sorted. I figured I should also probably do this before I make the swatches, because I need to put them in a different order, and I want them swatched in the same order that they are in the pan. Okay? Yeah? You're getting ready to throw up. You sound like you're getting ready to throw up. This one is the same name as that one. But going to move these down. Also, she doesn't like it when you can hear her on the live stream. So. Yes, she's out there. That is what you just heard. There's a lot of like yellows and golds in this set. This is the Artsy Blue set that I'm putting in with the Melion pink set. They're both the same company, so basically about the same thing. But there's no rhyme, no reason to the organization of what order they put these colors in. And I like my colors organized. So I'm organizing paint. That's what you're watching me do. Trying to figure out what shade are these? They're so similar. You okay? Are you looking for more bacon bones? Did you eat all your bacon bones? You can have it. Also, you appear to be sitting on your heat, but I think his body should have you guys. There you go. I think this is supposed to be golden maroon, but it says golden mamoon. Spelled moon, M-O-O-N. There are so many things spelled wrong in the artsy set. It's hysterical. Like, purple was spelled. How is it spelled? Which one is it? Wait a minute. It was on the box, right? Yeah, it was on the box. I don't think I've opened that one yet here. Golden Mamoon is green. That color not show. It's not showing the same color there that it is here. Oh, is it color shift? Wait, is it color shift? It looks like it's a color shift. It goes between red and green. Oh, that's fancy. Well, I'm gonna pull it out here. What logic they used for what order they put these in. What's this one? Also silver black. Two at the same day? The number is different. They're both called silver black, but one is silver black C402 and the other is silver black C4120. The paint looks the same. Anyways, with them both combined into one pan, that'll make it easier for me to paint when we get around to the actual painting. See what it isn't doing. There we go. It's not fully in the screen. All three of those look the same, but they got different numbers. I discovered once I got one of them out, if I didn't put it back in, the rest of them open okay. And then you go to the next row, same thing. Yeah, also, I want this. Can you even see what I'm showing you? There it is. I have it on screen. There you go. So, I'm just going to take this full metal insert out. I'll put it back in the blue tin, and we're just going to use the pink tin. I may have a reason for this insert later. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Um, she was just out there watching the stream on her phone on the porch and yelling. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can start another stream and my viewers can listen to you. She ran off. But that's what you were hearing at the beginning. Flash Blue. Is it one of these called Flash Blue? They're both made by the same companies. But they are, the pans themselves are physically different, which is interesting. That's a light. Shit. Wait, is it? What's this? This is Flash Blue? Really? Alright, I'm gonna put it with blue. It says it's blue. That's another reason you always gotta swatch out and test the paints when you first get them, because in the pan they don't necessarily always look like what color they are. Like some of these are really, really dark and they look black, but they're shades of blue and purple. And they will look different on the paper. And they'll look different on different types of paper too. That's why it's best to swatch them on the type of paper you're going to use them on. That's why I have dedicated. I got 9 of those books. These books. Also, I finished this while Ben was here. That's right, you didn't see it from the last stream. We didn't finish it. I finished doing the dots. And I wrote the names for each thing. I have a dedicated swatch book that is going to have one color on each page. And I'm not sure, because I started doing this before I mixed the two pans. Mixed the two pans into one pan. So I might completely change what I'm doing here and redo this differently. So I'm not going to finish the rest of this tonight. That's why I wanted to do this right now before I finish that, because I hadn't considered combining into one pan. It is just going to be so much easier. I'm putting magnets on them. See, that's why they're sticking, even though I can fold it upside down and they're not falling out. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting magnets on the paint pans. And this pan is bigger. This pan is quite a bit bigger than this pan. Even though this pan has the fold out palettes, so technically this pan is better. But I'm not likely to use this palette. I prefer to use porcelain palettes, which I have one right here. I can show you. It's in its box. There. I use these, this is a sushi dish. Porcelain paint palettes are usually about 20 inches by 24 inches. The easel that I am using, this wooden easel right here that I'm using, is 10 inches by 13 inches. It is smaller. It opens up so that I can put a canvas on it so I can use it for when I do the acrylic on canvas, and then it folds down flat for doing watercolors. So I've got it in its watercolor mode right now. See if I can let me pick it up so you can see it, because you can't actually see it when it's sitting. It's one of these. There we go. Now you can see it. Sort of, kind of. But this all unlocks and opens up, and then it stands up. This is a lap travel easel. It's a little small one. I used to have a studio easel, but it was in the motorhome, April 10, 2015. So another $300 I've destroyed because, yeah, we have psychopaths who live around here. That was a $300 easel, big full-size studio easel, like what most people think of when they think easel, like the thing Bob Ross used. One of those. So this I just bought 2 days ago. I used to have one of these as well. Also was destroyed April 10, 2015. Listen, you only hear me talk about the murder because that is still an investigation that's going on. You don't hear me talk about the rest of the stuff that happened that same day. But all my art supplies were destroyed that day as well. That's why we're rebuying everything right now. Anyways, this is a travel easel. Where's the other clip? There's one more clip on it. It's on this side. And this has a drawer, and it came with a palette, but the palette, I don't like these type palettes. Came with a drawer. And I'm not likely to ever use the drawer. I'm probably never going to use the drawer, so the drawer's just going to stay empty and locked. This is an oil painting palette. I hate oil paints. Oil paints is fine if you want to look at it. You want to paint it? Great. I am very sensitive to smells. I got a set of oil paints once, and as soon as I opened it, the smell was just, nope, there was no way. And I thought maybe it was just one. No. It's all oil paints. It's the linseed oil. So, basically, linseed oil smells like you're fumigating. It is horrendous. I don't know how people who paint with oil paints can tolerate it. I like the look of oil paints. It's very nice what it looks like. I just can't stand the smell of paint. The smell is horrible. So I don't use oil paints. I use acrylic when I'm painting on a canvas. However, my paint supplies $30,000. It's not cheap to replace. So I haven't replaced them yet, even though that happened 9 years ago. 8 years ago. 8 years ago, that one. 9 years ago was the other one. If you don't know, I have a broken spine. I'm crippled. I'm sitting on a bed because I can't get up and move around. That also happened the same day my family was murdered. In addition to everything else they did, April 10, 2015, they also brought in a Blow Brothers sewage truck, which they put into a window and pumped 500 gallons of feces into the motorhome, which is how the paint supplies got destroyed and can't be used, because paint's unusable once you mix it with human feces. It's also taken me 9 years to relearn to walk. And we are in the first year where I am able to sit up and get back to painting for the first time. since this happened. That's why we're rebuying everything. But when I bought that stuff originally, my book had just sold 1 million copies. So I had money to buy all that stuff. And I don't have money anymore because my medical bills were $20 million. And they still aren't paid. This book sold 1 million copies. Fuzzy, there it is. So, I had a huge amount of money at the time. I bought the paint supplies originally, but that was 20 years ago. Also, 10 funerals the same day is really expensive, considering the average funeral is between $10,000 to $20,000 per coffin. And $20 million in medical expenses about being paralyzed. And relearning to walk. So, that's something people always talk about. They always ask about that. You had a book that sold 1 million copies. Yes. It was a gay romance novel, and because it sold 1 million copies and got really famous, a bunch of gay haters showed up in my yard, murdered my family, crippled me, and don't have any more money because of 20 million in medical bills and funerals of everybody in my family, which is very expensive. And there's no going back to work when you can't walk and you have to spend years of physical therapy relearning to walk, and you have doctors telling you, oh, you're never going to walk again. I have started walking-ish. Basically, I can walk my dog around the block sometimes. It takes about 40 minutes to do. A normal person would probably take less than 5 minutes, when this block isn't very big. I dropped a pen, and I can't find it. I don't know where it went. So, I'll leave one of that one. It's my favorite one. What you doing? Anyways, I don't have the big setup right now because if you've seen my yard, you know vandals have been dumping stuff. There is a car and a boat in my yard, both of which are not mine. That silver station wagon, that's not mine. The green boat, that's not mine either. Located the owners of both of them because they left license plates on. Anyways, the boat was stolen. The guy wants it back. But it happened during the pandemic, and he's in Arizona. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. Idiot stole his boat and dumped it in my yard. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in Maine. Anyways, made an arrangement with him for him to be able to come back here and pick up his boat and take it back to Arizona where it belongs. But the pandemic has kept him from being here, which is understandable. So, at the moment, the boat I'm not having an issue with. We've found the owner, he wants it back. He's trying to get here to get it back. The car I'm having an issue with. You found the owner and he won't take his car out of my yard. Normally, my paint setup would be where that car is. But that car is filling up most of the front of my yard. And if you've seen the car, you know why it's taking up more space than one car. It's kind of in pieces, scattered across my yard. With no wheels, because if you go to the back door of the apartment, right beside the bed right here, there's a door right here. You go outside. If you watch my TikTok videos when I'm walking with Mickey, my dog, you will notice every time I go out the back door, I point out, what the hell are their tires doing leaned up against my back door? There's 4 tires sitting there. You know what we found out? The guy who put those tires here in Biddeford, he's the one who owns those car. And the tires off that car, that's why that car has no tires on it. So not only did he dump a car in my yard that's in pieces, there's no windshield in it, the roof is flattened, it's squashed out like I don't know what. But then he brought the tires and dumped them here in my apartment in Biddeford. And the previous landlord didn't care. I've been complaining for the last 3 years about that junk by the back door. It's my door, and it's a pile of junk out there that ain't mine. And I'm crippled, I can't get it out. And the landlord said, well, yeah, he's got mental problems. Just leave it. No! What the hell? Well, he sold the building and there's a new landlord. The new landlord wanted to know, do you know who owns all this stuff? Where did all this stuff? Yes, I do know who owned all this stuff. He's not only dumping stuff here in Biddeford, he's dumping it in Old Orchard too, and I can't get him to stop. And I have called the police in Old Orchard, and they've contacted him. And the police in Old Orchard, you know, the Barney Fives of Old Orchard. What can you do, boys will be boys? Trespassing and illegal dumping something on my yard. You're supposed to be able to go find him and move it out of my yard because you're the damn fucking police. Not throw your hands up in the air and say, well, what can we do? Boys will be boys. I'm so damn sick of the Old Orchard Beach Police. Barney Five was a comedian. He made fun of police acting like that. They are the actual police and they act like that. That still doesn't look blue, but I guess if it's a chameleon, and it looks like it might be, it probably will lay down blue on the paper. Is this green or blue? I can't tell. Gold, blue. So this is another chameleon one, I think. I'm gonna put you there. Looks more teal. Fortunately, the jackass that used to come up with the dump truck and dump huge piles of garbage in my land, who is a relative of the one that's dumping smaller piles of garbage in my land right now, the other one's dead, so he can't do it anymore because he died. I don't understand. Why do you steal somebody's boat on the Pacific coast and bring it here to the Atlantic coast to dump it in somebody's yard. Who does something like that? We don't know who took his boat. We know who owns the boat. He had reported it stolen out there in Phoenix, Arizona. The boat had a thing on it, you know, the little numbers you have to put on it, the license plates and stuff that you have to put to register a boat. He's out there in Arizona looking for his boat that for some reason is in my driveway in Maine. The police were able to locate him when they had the number. They're like, okay, do you notice? I actually know this guy. Yep, I do actually know him. He's one of my cousins. But he can't figure out who stole the boat out of his yard and brought it all the way across the country, several thousand miles, to dump it in my yard. Who does something like that? Three of these colors mixed up. This is red. It was really greeny blue. It's like they just took one of each of every color and threw it at the pan, and whatever lorder they landed in, that's how they put it in. I've never seen paint in paint like this before. I don't usually get cheap quality paint. This is beginner grade, this set. I'm used to Winsor Paul Rubin. Where they use color theory to go, this is what order we put paints in. Not, here's a bunch of colors, let's throw them in something and that's where they'll land. Wow, are you a color changing one? What? Flash? Yeah, I put that next to that because it looks white. That looks white. And then when I put it there, I was like, wow, that's red. It's like, it's... Can you see what that is doing? It's like white at one angle and then dark red at a different angle. The camera's not picking it up. I wish the camera would pick it up better. That is... Okay. You're red. You're a strange red, but you're red. The sun is starting to set. I'm going to need to turn more lights on. It's starting to get dark in here. What time is it? 4:34 p.m. I'm always amazed by how many people are, what would you call it, mystified by the time we have sunset here. You do realize we're less than a half hour from a tundra. Just drive. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know that around here. I've had so many people. It's like, the Aurora Borealis was out last night, and they're like, we don't live where there's an Aurora Borealis. Go outside and look up. It's right there. And somebody was asking the other day about life in the tundra, and I was answering because I've been to a tundra because we're really close to it. I was answering them, and then somebody that was local said, we don't live anywhere near a tundra. And I was like, so you don't go outside much, do you? We're just below the tundra line here. It's a day drive to the Tundra and back. How do so many people locally not know how far north we are? It's hysterical. It's a constant reoccurring thing, but yeah, that's why 4 o'clock is sunset. I didn't know there were some people here from Utah. And that was the first time I had heard about sunset happening at 9 or 10 p.m. Oh my god. And they're like, how can you stand it? You haven't, the daylight, does not, you, how? Apparently it also has sunrise a lot earlier in the day than we do, too, besides, because we were complaining about it. So, I don't know what sunrise and sunset is like anywhere else. I've always lived here. Born and raised here. No intention of leaving. I like it. Alright, it's empty. I like this pan. This is a nice color. It's nice. It's like a mint blue green color. I don't know what color. What do you call this color? It's not green, but it's not blue, and it's not mint. It's like a greenish turquoise, I guess, right? It's like greenish turquoise. We should get a acrylic crayon and match it. Whenever I don't know what color something is, I match it to acrylic crayon. I love acrylic crayons. As you saw earlier today. Also, my crayon box fell out. Oh, I was supposed to give Ben a list. That's right. I gotta do that. I started organizing these and I forgot. He went to the store and I was like, you didn't tell me you were going to the store. You didn't tell me you were coming here and then going to the store. So I don't have a list ready. And he's like, well, I'm going to the store. Text me the list. I forgot to text him the list. I've been sitting here talking to you. And I've been doing this for a good hour before I start talking to you. And there's the plastic insert from the pink one. So I now have both of my paint boxes combined. Oh no, you're definitely not going to get in there. Alright. I like this box top. I think I might use this for our handmade paints when we start making paints when the rest of our supplies get here, because not everything is here yet. Also, I like that they get this nice carry of cloth to put it in. I like this. But it's only half the size of that one, so I couldn't fit. I was gonna put everything in the blue one because I like the blue. I like this box better than this box. And yeah, everything I have is pink, so everybody always assumes pink is my favorite color. Orange is my favorite color, and blue is my second favorite color. I didn't start painting everything pink until gay haters showed up in my yard saying that pink is a gay color and only gay men are allowed to wear pink. Also, we're building a house. That's something a lot of people are not aware of yet. Guess what color it's going to be? We're going to have the pinkest house in the state of Maine. I painted it with the same paint that I painted my motorhome with. It's going to be the exact same color. So, my car, my motorhome, my clothes, and the house that we're now building are all the same color. Rust-Oleum raspberry pink. Took 48 cans of Rust-Oleum Raspberry Pink to paint the motorhome. See how many cans it takes to paint the house. Alright, there's only one orange. Red. We may need to move some of these around a little bit in order to get them all fitting in here, because we are very close to running out of space. Are you purple or blue? What do you say? Let's see. Says purple. You look blue. But as we've seen from this paint set, a lot of the colors are color changing. Anticipating, so not entirely unexpected. However, what can we do about it? Will this close with these on the top? And I just leave these on the top? We're gonna find out. I don't know. I have empty paint tins if it doesn't do that. It did. Wow, is it heavy with all the paint in one thing. And magnets. Magnets are heavy. And when we open it, it stays on top like that. That's nice. Also, you're in the wrong place. It's going to annoy me if I leave you in the wrong place. I can fit one more of those over here, but then they're not going to be even if I do that. That's because I turned these two here around. So turn you back around. But now I can't fit the paintbrushes back in there. Do I want to keep the paintbrushes in there? I keep my paintbrushes separate. It means I would have to wait for the paint to dry before I can close it also. Which I love magnets. You can probably tell. I can fill both sides of these. Also, you're green. Now we can fit the paintbrushes in the front. And this will close, right? Yes. The magnets are stuck to it. Allow them to come off without coming off their sticky stuff, and the sticky stuff come off. There we go. The magnets back in there. I need to go make that list for Beth. Where did the paintbrush go? There was a paintbrush here. There it is. You know what? Can I? Can't do that. Right. Can do that. It rolled and hit the paint. Okay. Only fits in that one spot. Wow. We got everything in one box. That's dumb. But this box is very heavy now. It's noticeably heavy. Oh well, that's okay. It has a thing so you can how do I, where is it? There it is. It has a get in line with the camera so you can see it. It has a thing so you can just put it on your hand. It's got a little clip thing that you loop your fingers through. So if I was doing this, if I was going to be painting with this, as heavy as we got it now, it would be too heavy. This would be too heavy now. But, ow, my finger barely fits in that. That's a small loop. It's stuck on my finger. I paint with my paints on the table. Or, I don't have a table. This is a Rubbermaid box that my easel is sitting on top of. And a stool that the paint set is sitting on top of. Because my furniture was in the house when the backhoe drove over it, so I have no furniture. Also, you remember that huge comic book collection I used to have? And people always went, what happened to your comic book collection? It was in the house when the backhoe drove over it. So, yeah. World's largest comic book collection doesn't exist anymore. Guinness World Record for that. That also was incredibly expensive, and I can't replace it. Where'd the little box go? That's the bigger box. Are you? No. You're not the box I'm looking for. It's not those. Not those. There, that's a jellyfish. Ah! No. No. Oh, my Red Bull just fell over. Here, I'm carrying. Yes. I will just put these right here. You can't see what I'm doing. Putting the crayons on top of that, and I'll call it good for now. I can't find the box that's supposed to be in. You know what? I moved all that stack of papers that's there. It's probably under that. Anyways, I'm going to be done with this for the moment because I got to go get that list for Ben. Because I was supposed to do that an hour ago and I completely forgot. I was just holding it. How do I lose things? I haven't gone anywhere or done anything. I'm just sitting here. I've lost it. There it is. I found it. This is good. This little teeny tiny box. That's what I was looking for. How do I lose things so fast when I want to move? Just been sitting here. Come back here. Alright. The crayons we were using are back in the box. Also, that's the fish tank you're hearing, which is right beside me, and I'm putting stuff on top of the fish tank. We'll finish these. I'll probably come back on again tonight because I'm not done. I didn't know Ben was coming over. He didn't tell me he was coming over. He just showed up. I was trying to find my mouse pad. I need the mouse and the mouse pad to turn the stream off, and I couldn't find it to turn it off. Alright. I have no clue when I'll be back on, but it will probably be tonight. Let's see. It'll probably be a few hours. I don't know. Yeah, I may just go get him that list and then come right back on within a few minutes. I don't know. I gotta go find out what I needed. That involves getting up, which hurts. So, I'll be back on some point. That's in the way.